good day and welcome. If you're just joining us, then you're right on time to join us on the newspaper review right here on TAF TV for today, the 7th day of April 2022. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and it is my pleasure to bring you the newspaper headlines. As you know, shortly we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, the headlines are for you. To stay with us. Okay, you're welcome back from that short break and taking you straight now to our first paper for today. We have amongst the headlines in the nation. This one here says, zoning, Ohaneze lashes PDP as Fayose faults consensus. Ohaneze lashes PDP as Fayose faults consensus. All right. Next in the nation, we have terrorists threaten to kill attacked train hostages. Terrorists threaten to kill attacked train hostages. That's on page 26 of the nation. And next in the nation, we have here Zenith Bank gives 93.33 billion naira dividends. Zenith Bank gives 93.33 billion naira dividends. All right. Next in the nation, we have Dangote, Adenuga, Rabiu remain on Forbes rich list. Dangote, Adenuga, and Rabiu remain on Forbes rich list. And lastly, in the nation, we have federal government lifts more COVID-19 restrictions. Federal government lifts more COVID-19 restrictions. That's on page 30 of the nation. And next, underneath it, we have Bank MD abducted on attacked train regains freedom. Bank MD abducted on attacked train regains freedom. That's on page 28 of the nation. Taking you straight now to our next paper for today. We have amongst the headlines in the Daily Independent. This one here says, presidential primaries. APC leaders warn Buhari against consensus candidacy. Presidential primaries. APC leaders warn Buhari against consensus candidacy. Says no aspirants should be imposed on contestants, according to Sage. Okay, next in the Daily Independent, we have, despite ASU strike, FG okays establishment of 12 new universities. Despite ASU strike, FG okays establishment of 12 new universities. Minister says FG not overwhelmed by insecurity. Says FG not overwhelmed by insecurity. Okay. And next, in the Daily Independent, we have Zenith Bank pays shareholders 97.33 billion naira dividend. Zenith Bank pays shareholders 97.33 billion naira dividend. I beg your pardon. That's on page 7 of the Daily Independent. And next, we have here, court orders 35% public offices reserved for women. Court orders 35% of public offices reserved for women. And lastly, in the Daily Independent, we have Buhari makes maintenance of public buildings mandatory. Buhari makes maintenance of public buildings mandatory, says executive order on 11th. All right, that's the much we can take in Daily Independent. Taking you straight now to our next and last paper for today. We have amongst the headlines in the Punch, zoning crisis threatens PDP. Zoning crisis threatens PDP. South insists on presidency. South insists on presidency. That's on page 2 of the Punch. And next in the Punch, we have suspected smugglers kill Ogun custom officer, dumps body in pit. Suspected smugglers kill Ogun custom officer, dump body in pit. That's on page 4 of the Punch. And next, we have in the Punch, this one here says, 2 die in Jonathan's convoy crash. Others injured. 2 die in Jonathan's convoy crash. Others injured. That's on page 8 of the Punch. And next in the Punch, we have Lassa fever spreads as COVID-19 cases drop. FG lifts restrictions. That's on page 3 and 7 of the Punch. I'll go again. Lassa fever spreads as COVID-19 cases drop. FG lifts restrictions. That's on page 3 and 7 of the Punch. And lastly, in the Punch for today, we have ex-governor Atta slams Malami with 1.5 billion naira defamation suit. Ex-governor Atta slams Malami with 1.5 billion naira defamation suit. That's on page 9 of the Punch. All right, thank you so much for staying faithful. Thank you so much for sticking there. That's the much we can take in the newspaper headlines for today. And right about now, we shall be moving over to our discussion segment, a segment where we throw more light on some of the headlines you just heard. If you want more details on those headlines you heard, do get a copy of the papers for yourself. All right, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, straight to our discussion segment. Don't go away.
Have you registered for your permanent voter's card? I mean, your PVC. There is a Nigeria we all seek, a place where love, peace, security, and unity can reign supreme.
Waste no time. We want a country where peace and justice will be the order of the day.
Unfortunately, there's a problem. One big challenge this generation has to solve.
Our country cries for help every day. We need able and capable hands to lead and direct.
These capable hands can be you. Have you gotten your PVC? Have you registered for the ongoing voting process? Don't say your vote does not count. Yes, it does.
Have you gotten your PVC? Your apathy towards Nigeria's electioneering process will further inhibit our collective growth and development as a nation. Your refusal to participate and engage will keep us at a standstill. So be intentional.
I have my PVC. Your votes, your voice would go a long way in preventing absolute destruction of this country and the future of our children, the hope of tomorrow.
The 2023 Nigerian elections are just around the corner. Go out and get heard. Don't forget, your vote, your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited. All right, guys, you're welcome back from that quick break. And joining me in the discussion segment for today are two of our not so very familiar faces. And by those persons, I'm talking about Miss Chidima Ume and Miss Adobe Onyayo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
All right, let's go straight to the business of today. All right, amongst the major headlines in today's papers is the court order for 35% of public offices to be reserved for women. There's something inside of me that is telling me that both of you would have so much to say concerning this headline.
You are very, very correct.
Because it has to do with women.
Yes, please. Yes, we've been women all our lives, so I think we have a lot to contribute in that regard. Now, first of all, when we say that a country like Nigeria, of course, we have women and men. So let's say we have 50% women, 50% men. Even though the statistics do not exactly show that, but the strength, the capacity, the gender capacity shows that we have women as much as we have men. And so if men can contribute to the success or the growth of the economy and the society at large, I feel like women should also be given a chance, right? 35 is fair. It's not where we want to be, and it's fair, basically. I feel like if it can happen, it will be something very, very great. Give women a chance to enter into places like politics, into places like entertainment, sports, as much as they can. Do you understand? Legislature, executive, the judicial arm, allow them to go into those places, allow them to flourish, let them bring in their managerial capacity and skill, into full form. Let us see it and let us be able to appreciate the power that women have.
Okay, shortly before I move over to Adobe, there's been this general knowledge concerning women that they have problems during decision making. Yeah, to be decisive. Women, according to the general opinion, women, they are not so decisive. So, on that particular note, do you really think this 35% it's actually low or it's a bit high?
Okay, so we are talking of the weakness of women being that they can be highly emotional creatures, which is very correct. And that means that sometimes when they have to make logical decisions, they tend to falter because of their emotions. But balancing it out, these emotion sometimes can be a weakness and a strength at the same time, right? But the men also have their weaknesses and have their strengths. So I think the best thing we can do is to balance it out. In some areas, we have women who are leading with men who are, in one way or the other, balancing them out. That is why we have, checks and balances in the society. That is why we have, a democratic society, judicial, legislative, executive. These arms check themselves to make sure that, there is no abuse of power whatsoever. And so it's not like we're giving, the woman the ultimate right to, she's not the sole owner of Nigeria. Even the president is not the sole owner of the country, right? So whatever we are doing, we should also make sure that we share it so equally that there are different people whose interests are being protected in the society, basically. Yeah.
All right, so Ms. Adobe, 35% of public offices should be reserved for women. What do you have to say concerning this? Is it fair enough, or you think it's still too small?
Honestly, I think it's fair because, like you say, Rome wasn't built in a day, so one step at a time, you get?
Okay, so you have plans to take everywhere. Okay.
Not really. It's just that.
See the problem? Okay, let's go. Okay.
It's just that, like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Okay.
Little by little.
Yeah, you take everywhere.
No, not like take everywhere. It's just, I believe it's a great step, like great stride, to give women a chance. Let's take, for example, I think women in politics, or quite notable women, they have enviable portfolios, like qualification of their portfolios. One of a very major example should be the Miss Okonjo Iweala, the World
Bank. Yeah.
You saw the groundbreaking moment, yeah. So I think I should go traditional. My dad would always say, once you train a woman or a girl child, you train a nation. So
preach.
Why do I feel like I'm talking to feminists right
now?
No,
I'm not. It's not about feminism. I'm not a feminist, but I strongly believe in equity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Just.
I think we should find a way to balance these things out, because we've always given men a chance, and from all indications,
giving men a chance.
Men, in fact, we have not even given them. They've taken the chance. It's not even because Nigeria has never had like a female president. For most key areas of government, it always goes to a man. So if we can at least let women let's just try them. Because things are not good as it is. So
like
let's try
Khadija
them. Right?
Okunu Lamidi, the first woman to announce her interest in running for presidency come 2022. Have you seen her qualifications?
She has quite a portfolio.
She's got it, bro.
All right, guys, let's not dwell much on that particular headline. Let's move over to our next headline for today. Okay, what do you guys have to say concerning the government's action in lifting several COVID-19 restrictions?
I think it's laughable. I think it's humorous.
Why?
Right?
Why do you think it's laughable?
Because we've moved on from this long time ago.
Okay.
Where are the restrictions really? We don't even have anyone. People don't wear nose masks except if you want to go to the bank. Then you wear it at the door. Then if you are entering, you can remove the nose mask. But then when you want to pass the door again, you wear it. It doesn't make any sense, right? We don't even have these restrictions anymore. In our hospitals, in a lot of other places, we don't have it. People walk on the road freely. Those restrictions, as at the time when COVID was on the rise, there were 50 people in a room, the whole 1-inch space, the whole sanitizers. Right now, some people put water inside the sanitizer bottle and then they just give you two.
Okay.
It's nothing to us anymore. I think we've moved on, and our government needs to catch up with us.
And they just did. So welcome to 2022 government.
we are in April and they are just, that's their
Can you
January.
imagine lifting curfew from 12 a.m. to 4? So therefore, like example now, let's say I get tired of sleeping, and I just want to roam. I'll wake up by 12 to start strolling the streets of PH because the government has officially lifted the COVID ban.
So 12 to 4 was a time when COVID was
very
on the rise.
Active,
but
yeah, so
they've checked and they've realized no, it's not more on the
exactly.
rise anymore. So
you can actually go.
How humorous.
All right, guys. I think we have to call it a day on our discussion segment, and of course, the newspaper review for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And as for you who has been there watching us, thank you so much for staying faithful. Without you, we would not be here. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you would be notified on when we do come online and when we drop our new videos. This is Staff TV once again. My name remains Cyril Aloysius, and this is where we call it a wrap on today's newspaper review. Until we come your way again next time, it's bye for now and have a wonderful day.